Revenge versus chasing clout. A lot of people don't seem to understand what the difference is. So we're going to go into that today. Before we do, I hope everyone's had a pleasant Sunday. Hope you did everything you set and wanted to accomplish today. Having said that, we have a wide variety of things to talk about, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what is chasing clout. Chasing clout is what people do when they try to reply to GG33 members, when they try to build a following. They always at people, not necessarily me, my students. God knows there's a lot of them. And what they do is they're looking for engagement to build their following. Those are normal tactics. And I would just advise my GG33 members to try to recognize people who are just trying to build their accounts. Now, we're all guilty of doing that, including me, but there are certain rules to the game. I want people to understand what the rules are. Number one, if someone has 0 followers, 10 followers, 15 followers, and you look on their account and all they do is talk shit, don't give this person the time of day. Okay? That person is most likely extremely miserable, and he basically talks because that's the best thing he has going in his life. Now, a lot of people will be like, yo, Gary, you talk a lot of shit too. You're right. The difference is I get paid for it. You guys see me talking shit, Tate. Guess what? I get paid for that. I've converted at least 300 to 400 of his, Real World or Hustlers University people into GG33 Academy. So you see, talking did that. That's not chasing clout. That's actually running a business. Do you guys understand what the difference is? I don't think a lot of you do. I really don't think a lot of you understand how this game actually works. It is not enough to be the best of the best at what you do. I'm the Michael Jordan of numerology. I'm the Tom Brady of numerology. I'm the guy. I'm that guy. But I got suspended 18 freaking times on a lot of different platforms. I'm only growing right now. So this is my first 50K account. God knows I had a whole bunch of 30K accounts, 20K accounts. They all get suspended. I'd be well over 200, 300, maybe even 1 million followers by now if people didn't my accounts. So because I was put in that situation when I was unfairly targeted, and again, I'm not crying about it. It is what it is. I adapted. Anyone else in my position would have been done. Anyone else in my position would have been done. Not me. I found a way around it. God, I hate these damn motorcycles down here in Florida. Yo, DeSantos, if you listen to me, man, ban those. I like sleeping with my balcony open, and those come through at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes and wake me the hell up. I'm ready to go locked and loaded, I swear. You know, everywhere you live, there's always some kind of problems. In Ohio, I lived in a really, really nice neighborhood. And I swear to God, some days I'd rather live in the ghetto because that's where I lived when I was a kid. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you hear gunshots go off once in a while in the ghetto, but these lawnmowers, every 2 to 10 minutes, a new lawnmower is going off. I literally wanted to go postal on these people. But, you know, again, here you got the motorcycles making a whole bunch of noise in Ohio, the damn lawnmowers. It's always something. You adapt or die. Which brings us back to the whole point of what we're talking about today. Chasing clout to getting revenge. If you guys think I'm going after Andrew Tate to chase clout, you would be right to a point. If you think I'm doing it just to chase clout, you're out of your mind. This man went after me. This man called me a fraud. This man tried to destroy me in 2019. I will do everything in my power to bring this motherfucker down. And yes, do I gain clout off it? 100%. Do I make money off it? 100%. But it's straight revenge. Straight revenge. Joe Rogan. You guys think I'm petty with what I did to Tate? Wait till you see what I do to Rogan. And Rogan is guilty of the same crime that Andrew Tate is. Both calling me a fraud and both saying numerology and astrology is garbage. You have to understand, if you do that, well, I'm going to have to come for you. I'm not talking about coming for you in a physical or a violent matter. I'm going to come with you after you on social media. That's exactly what I'm going to do to you, because I'm not going to allow anyone to go after my life's work. It's just not going to happen, guys. I will not allow it. So obviously there's thousands of trolls who talk every day, but they're not influencers. They have no clout. Influencers influence people to go against numerology and astrology. Therefore, you are committing a moral reprehensible crime, and I'm going after you. I don't care who you are. Ben Shapiro, you're probably next. Or maybe I'll just, go after the light work Tate's boys here in Miami. I'll decide, but let this be abundantly clear. People who are mutual friends of Joe Rogan's and mine ask me, "Yo, Gary, don't do this. You're gonna be a star either way. Don't do this. If you do this, you'll never go on Joe Rogan. If you do this, all these doors will close." Ha ha. Tell someone who gives a Tell someone who gives a I do not care. I cared in 2018, 2019. After those suspensions, I stopped giving a fuck. It was me against the world at that point. I don't care. And for people who said my little video of Joe Rogan's dad with a flop, try 6.5 million views in less than a week at a whole bunch of different media platforms, from Twitter to TikTok. It's out there. It is out there. And let that be an example. You talk about numerology, I will find what your weak point is and I will go after it. And by the way, Joe Rogan's dad is a solid guy. So is his sister. Solid people. They didn't do this for money. They did not do this for money. I can assure everyone of that. I can understand why people would think that, but they did not do this for money. What I did this for is very, very evident. To get even with people from 2019. Remember, Tate was one of them, and Joe Rogan was another. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, put in Gary the Numbers Guy, Joe Rogan. You'll see the comedy show that I basically took over, and he was talking about numerology and astrology. I told him that day on stage, "I'm coming for you, bro." I told him on stage, "I'm coming for you." And that's exactly what I'm doing. In the coming weeks and months, you're going to be seeing me do a lot of stuff like this. And again, I understand I am never going on Joe Rogan. I understand that. By the way, what you people don't understand is Andrew Tate's War Room asked Joe Rogan, asked a whole bunch of other people, make sure I never go on their podcast, and they agreed. So guess what? It's payback time. When you take a beach ball and you put it underwater and you just hold it down, as soon as you let go, it pops right up. And that's what happened. I was suppressed. And now with some of the suppression over, you're seeing what happens. GG33 is being searched on Google at record paces. Record paces. A couple of days ago, I finalized the location for my new podcast. It's actually going to be on one of the top floors of a Trump Tower in South Beach. The view is absolutely amazing. Almost as good as my Vegas view. Absolutely amazing. I already have guests lined up, and we're going to be very, very different from everyone else. One day I might talk about politics. One day I might have 40 broads in there. Oh, not 40, but we'll have about 15 broads in there. And we're going to start talking about the difference between a lady and a hoe. We're going to do a lot of different things with this podcast. But I promise you, this, rest assured, we're going straight to the top. Straight to the top. I'm cutting deals left and right with the real influencers, and I haven't even pushed the buttons yet. Wait till this Joe Rogan full podcast. Wait till that thing comes out. Wait till that thing gets about 20 to 30 million views. And Joe Rogan is forced to respond. Yep. For months, I was sending messages. I'm coming for you, Joe. I'm coming for you, Joe. And you guys thought I was all full of shit. And I told you, yo, I got something going with Rogan's dad. You guys thought I was full of shit. And then all of a sudden you saw the clips. And now 6 to 7 million people have saw the clips, and it's going to be a lot more before this is all over. And I'm going to be clear. If you think numerology and astrology is bullshit and you're open to debate, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's the thing. I'm open to debate. I'm open to it. I don't care. I am open. But if you talk shit and then do what Rogan did, say, I'm not having any numerologists and astrologers on, well, then there's a problem. Or even worse, you do what Tate did, say numerology and astrology is bullshit, and secretly start using it while calling others frauds. Brother, I'm going to be at your neck for the rest of your life. And those are just the straight facts. You know, as vengeful as people think I am, I really let a lot of shit go. I really do. I mean, when I was 20, I let nothing go. I let a lot of shit go now. I only go after people if they intended. Intent. That's the big word for me. If you hurt me and you did it by accident, okay, shit happens. Accidents happen. I feel you, dude. No hard feelings. If you actually go after me with intent, well, then you got an enemy for life. And that's how all of you guys should feel. Accidents happen in the world. What are you going to bust someone's balls because they committed an accident? Sometimes really unfortunate accidents happen. But even in the legal system, which is corrupt as hell, even in the legal system, they understand there's a difference between murder and manslaughter. And that's called intent, which leads us to the pain. You know, I don't feel the same I'm going to get you attitude from you guys at Twitter anymore. It seems like you guys forgot that they locked you down. No matter what government, no matter what country you lived in, they locked you down. They took away your rights. And if you did anything about it, they put you in jail. And then they try to encourage you and force you to take that we all know now kills people. And for all the people out there who always talk about, well, you know what? I'm a good person. I get good karma. No, you don't. A bad person gets bad karma because he does negative actions. A good person has no karma. And a lot of you guys would be like, yo, what about yin yang? You always say balance in the force. What about yin yang? If bad karma gives you bad things, good karma should give you good. Wrong. Bad karma, bad things give you bad karma. Good things give you nothing because karma is not here to help us. Karma is a just system because, yes, what goes around comes around. Yet it does not reward. It only hurts. That's a fact. That is a 100% fact. You could do good things. You won't get hit by negative karma. There's your yin yang. There's your yin yang. You want another yin yang? Well, you guys ever hear of a book or read a book called The Secret tells you about manifestation. You ever wonder why the elite would actually release a book like that? Why would the elite put some real information about manifestation out there? Why would they do that? Obviously, it's helping some people, but why would they help anyone? Well, if you understand how the elite think, then you understand how the game works. I always tell people, saints create sinners. And what I mean by that is this. If you manifest a good thought for yourself, balance will be brought to the force. Balance will be brought to the matrix, and the negative thing will happen to someone else in this world. That's exactly why the elite told you about The Secret, because all you people manifesting good thoughts, you got to pay the piper somewhere, and it's going to happen with some people who are going to get hit. I know you're thinking, wow, this world isn't fair. You're thinking, what the? But you know what the good thing is? Humans are designed to overcome. That's what humans are designed for. We are designed to overcome things. From back in the days when we were going into caves, building fire with wood, to right now where we're killing each other with tanks in Ukraine. Humans are designed to overcome, but not all of us. Not all of us. A select percentage. Like, for instance, I'm assuming most people who are listening to me here are not. I'm assuming that because a lot of you are GG33 members, and you guys know damn well I've been telling you about the for 3 years. Over 3 years. You passed the test. Everyone who did not take you passed the test. Because all those people who took it, especially the ones who took maybe some of you who took got a good batch, and you won't be put in the ground that quickly. But if you went over and over and got, I'd really, really get a will. You're already by taking. You want to twice by dropping dead and not having a will for your relatives? Is that what you want? You know what? I should even say this, but let me tell you what I expect to happen when Donald Trump dies. And again, I don't expect this to happen anytime soon. But when Donald Trump actually dies, I am looking for his kids to start splitting up his estate. You're going to see legal battles between the kids. Because Ivanka, who was Donald's favorite, he found out the golden rule when it comes to daughters. Daughter might be loyal to you until someone else. And then when some other man is piping down your daughter, guess what? That loyalty factor ain't there as much as it used to be, or at all. To a point, it should be kind of expected. Daddy protects a little girl and the husband protects a woman. So to a point, it should be expected. But Donald Trump found out the hard way. He always thought Ivanka was his favorite. She's never going to betray me. All of a sudden, Kushner started piping her down. And guess who she's loyal to now? And her daddy. It's Kushner. That's something a lot of you guys out there who are going to have daughters, are going to deal with. You're going to find out. And I'm not talking to all of you. I'm sure there's 5% of you who will stay loyal to daddy. May I bend that number all the way to 10%? But, as soon as some dude starts piping her down, she ain't going to be as loyal. That's the thing. That's why I'm so happy I had boys. I had 2 boys. I made sure I had boys, too. If you're in GG33, gold especially, you know how I pulled that off. And if you don't, you can just ask me in the Flock form. I'll tell you. Sons are typically more loyal to their fathers than daughters. Typically. I'm not saying that's 100% the case, but typically. And what you have to understand is there's only so much you can do. One of the things you can do is set a good example. One of the things you can do as a father is treat your wife correctly in front of the kids. Because if you beat your wife and your kids see it, what kind of example are you setting for your kids? They're going to see that. They're going to do it. You have to show your wife proper respect. You know, I tell my sons this all the time. You know, they sometimes the big kid comes home about the teachers, you know, yada, yada, yada. And I told my son this, and I think all of you guys should tell this to your sons as well. I told my son he has to listen to two women in his life, his mother and his wife. And again, there comes with limits even with those two. But if you're a man, those are the only two women you have to listen to in your life. And what I mean by listen to is if they have to say, you know, listen to what, I'm not saying take their advice. I'm saying hear them out and respect their opinion. Especially if you have kids, your kids see stuff like that. Respect has to be taught. And women should be respected unless they give you a reason not to. For instance, if a woman is sleeping with every guy in the block, if she has 5 kids by 4 different guys, that's not very respectable. Different circumstances happen in different people's lives, which might justify some circumstances of things happening. But in most cases, it is what it is. That's one of my favorite sayings. It is what it is, because it's one of the most real sayings out there. It is what it is. Moving on. 2023 is about 30% complete. The year of the cat, because the month moves ahead, is about 22% complete. And some of the things I've noticed. I moved to Florida. I live in Sunny Isles now. I'm not giving you my address, but Sunny Isles is a really nice place. In front of my house that looks very similar to all the other houses around here, I have a group of 5, 6 cats that just assemble in front of my house. Now, there's nothing different about my house than others. There's no pond there. There's nothing different, but they're in front of my house all the time. Energy matters. Energy always matters. I would make a point of saying, yo, I live at this address, but I don't really want to give my address out. You know, there's some sick people out there. I'm just going to say it again. Energy matters. It is what it is. Anyways, we got close to 300 people in here. I always appreciate the fact that I can pull a lot of people into spaces. It is much appreciated. I hope that everyone who comes in here gets entertained, learns something, and, you know, whatever else goes with it. But at the end of the day, understand that when I do spaces, it's basically to get a message across. Most of these people in this world are NPCs. And what I mean by NPCs, at least my example of NPC, is pretty much people who are soulless. And you're going to see soulless people do a few things. Number one, soulless people love the color red. I mean, listen, I'm not talking about someone who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan and he wears reds for that reason. But if someone is, say, in Los Angeles and the Lakers are purple and, you know, Dodgers are blue, and this guy is not a blood or crip, but he's just straight flexing on red all day, you're suspect. He has a lisp in his voice. Talking like, yeah. Suspect. You know, eyes are not the only thing. They are windows to the soul. The voice is too. As a matter of fact, in some cases, I can tell a lot more by a person's voice than I can even do by looking at them. Even by looking at them. Why do alphas have such deep voices? Why do betas have such high-pitched voices? Why is that? I think it's just a coincidence. Everyone's favorite word, who's a GG33 hater. It's a coincidence. 9/11 happened on the 11th. It's a coincidence. The first flight to hit the World Trade Center. Coincidence that's an 11. All the, before there was AT&T, there was a company called Ameritech. Ameritech came from the Bell families. There, Ohio Bell, California Bell, Florida Bell. Those are the companies in the 80s. They handled all the phones. And the most interesting thing is in I believe it was 1968. The Bell Company made the police code for emergency 911. 1968, it did that. The Bell Company decided that 911 would be how you call the police on every single phone. 33 years later, 9/11 happens. Here's what I think. Everyone always says, where are all the good people at? How come no one warned us? Well, they did. You just weren't paying attention. See, the Bell companies were broken up, I believe it was in 1984, by the government. And I believe it was broken up because of that. Someone went through a lot of trouble to make sure the police code was 9/11. They did it 33 years before the event. And that company that did it was broken up into little fucking pieces. It was one of the largest antitrust suits by the government in its existence. They could use those same charges against many companies today, but they don't. But they did against the Bell companies because they actually told you 9/11 was coming. There's another show. It was called The Lone Rangers, I think. It was March of 2001. And in that show, it said that planes would be used by remote control to hit the World Trade Center. This is all relatively available. You can go look it on YouTube. It's all there. That's the beauty of the information age. That's the absolute beauty of it. You can find things out within seconds. Seconds. We live in a time where there's more evolved people than at any time in human history. And if you're listening to this, you got a lot of hope. I'm sorry to tell you, but I got to dim it now. Because at the same time, we live in a universe, in a world, where there's more NPCs than any time in world history. This has been a GG33 production.